what I've noticed and what's been kind of deliciously ironic for me is you guys and siblings and sisters and everybody in the world are kind of seeing how trans people live. When we talk about isolation, like a lot of us, because there's so many incidents of violence when we go out in the world, public gatherings are not safe. So that feeling of fear that you might feel, that you just now, because of COVID, are being able to see the bottom line fear of that. We see that all the time. The fear of going on public transportation, it may be the context is different, but the feeling of fear is exactly the same. And so when we think about when you may have COVID and you go to the hospital and the medical staff are ill-equipped to handle what you got going on, that's how we feel too, sweetie. When we have to teach people who are caring for us that how to deal with what we got going on, or we don't even know, and we're trying to come get help, and you're just focused on whether or not we have a period or not, or whether or not you can't even get past our pronouns, or you can't even get past that our name may be different than what we want to be called, and you're just not equipped to handle what we have going on. Different context, but the feeling is still the same. You're coming in a situation where the people can't really take care of you. When we talk about the government failing us miserably, when we talk about our government and their inability to do what needs to be done, trans folks feel like that all the time. We just got left off the 2020 census. So if you think about, and that's directly impact the kind of funds that we get in our nonprofits. So our government failing us miserably, you finally get to see how we have felt for forever. So when we think about, when I think about COVID, let me bring the allies in. Allies in the community around us being selfish and buying and using up all the supplies and being selfish about the resources that coming in. And when you go to the store, ain't no toilet paper. That's how we feel, especially in the South, when all the allocation of resources is going to the East Coast and the West Coast, but we're not getting anything in the South. That's how we feel, because the resources are being taken up and nobody cares about what's going on. And so for me, that's what COVID has pointed out in my life, that you finally get to see how we're living. Think about disabled people who have been rallying around doing web interviews, and y'all were forcing people to do live in-person interviews, totally neglecting a whole pool of talent because you couldn't figure out a way how to do this non-in-person thing to help disabled people take care of themselves. You couldn't push your companies to do this work from home. When we talk about single mothers who would rather be home with their family, but they got to go to this job and pay outrageous amount of daycare or childcare, because when they really could be home doing this job that you got them coming to an office, but all of a sudden COVID got us saying, oh, we can make this work because capitalism needs to continue to capitalize. So we finally can make this work. We finally can figure out a way. All of a sudden, magic happens and we can figure out a way. So this is what some of us who are on the marginalized fringes of the community, this is something, the things that we've been dealing with. And now that it's all of us, we're figuring out a way how to make it work. And I hope we are learning our lessons and learning what we need to learn to do what we have to do to care for the people who are on the bottom. Even now, we do not need to go back to business as usual. We do not need to go back to what we were doing before because it was not working for the people on the bottom. So don't go back, learn lessons. We should not be doing the same thing coming out of this, which we will come out of it. Look, I'm a trans woman. I've survived many things. I've survived guns against my head. I've survived so many things. I know I can come out of this. This little COVID shit, I don't care. We can come out of this. No. We're going to come out of this, but we got to come out of this better. And that's it.
I praise everything you just said, my love.